Good evening, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to the weekly updates of our presidential election model, or I guess mine, the one that I've developed to try and predict the 2020 presidential election. I shouldn't need to go over what the color coding means. I've done it quite often. For those of you who are new, you can flip through it. Basically, you know what? I'll go ahead and give it again just because why not? Darkest shade is for anything that is beyond 15%. The next darkest shade is for anything that is between 10 and 15. The next lightest shade, let's find one for the Republican as well. This pink or extremely light blue, that is for anything between 5 and 10%, and anything within 5 is in the middle ground. I wanted to show a bit more than I think most people would, plus there was a statistical analysis where most tilt ratings wound up being within 5%. So that's kind of where I was coming from with this 5% gradient shading, basically. Anyways, we can see Donald Trump's approval rating has taken a bit of a hit in the impeachment inquiry. Chances are the House will vote to impeach, as I honestly expected. And I really don't think the Senate is going to vote to remove him from office, especially considering that if they followed what the House wanted, we would get President Nancy Pelosi. I'm not kidding at all with that either. I really am not, because they've decided to implicate Mike Pence in that whole thing. As well as Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and probably a handful of others. So, yeah, they would, yeah. Not exactly a good, not exactly what they want to tell you about. So, we might be kind of lucky the Democrats didn't take control of the Senate. Even then, you need 2/3 of a vote, so it wouldn't have even mattered in this instance, but it kind of still matters, I guess. Because nobody wants President Nancy Pelosi. Anyway, so yeah, Donald Trump obviously has room to improve, and you can look at this and geek out over my spreadsheet like I sometimes do. If you actually look at the polling, Donald Trump's doing better than slightly better than might be expected. In some areas and slightly worse in others. But you have to remember there's approval ratings in here, hence why DC has such a high percentage. And in, say, Arkansas, it's within 10%, because obviously Arkansas is going to be far and away. So you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt and mix the approval ratings with the state partisanship, which you can... Oops. Sorry about that. Here we go. And find that. Basically, follow the directions and you'll figure out what the partisanship of the state is. And of course, this assumes a lot of things, but it basically, partisanship is trying to assume what happens when there's no incumbency, no discernible difference in quality of the candidate, and a perfectly even election in every way you can try and imagine. So that's kind of what has happened, what that is showing, and trying to average out that approval polling as well as any actual election polling we have with partisanship should give us a somewhat accurate picture. Now, I've also included the national approval rating in this because I do think that matters a slight bit. I'm actually shocked at how much, a full point swing can matter. There's economic numbers that really should look good. I think if Donald Trump had even honestly, he'd be winning. We wouldn't even be talking about this election being competitive if, number one, he wasn't going through an impeachment hearing, but also if he even had a net of -4, we wouldn't even be considering this election competitive, just because, yeah, that's to be expected in a modern presidency, is the president to be underwater with their approval rating. And if he had break-even numbers, 48, fluctuating around there, we'd probably be asking, can he hit 350 in terms of electoral vote count? So we really need to I think you always need to put into perspective any numbers you get. Look at the context, look at what's going on, look at everything like that. Anyway, I'm going to pretty much end it because there's nothing much more for me to say. I've explained everything I can. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Put in the comments your favorite Thanksgiving dish. For me, I have to admit my favorite Thanksgiving dish is pecan pie. Either that or I like cranberry sauce, and I'm not afraid to admit it, despite the fact I identify as a carnivore. My favorite meal of all time is probably fried chicken. Either that or a nice juicy steak cooked rare. And when I say rare, I mean rare. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and then now go watch the Monday night game and then pull an all-nighter preparing to host my family over at my place. So have fun at Thanksgiving, everyone. See y'all next time. Take it easy. Have a nice evening. Night. Bye.